who gets the catch. He's got Patrol.
We got an all Fab Four matchup. Mahtomedi hosting the program from North Tartan. Sam Erickson, Corey Franzmeyer on the call. And Corey, we're already ready and going right here tonight.
Yeah, here we go. We got an interconference battle here between Mahtomedi and North. A couple teams looking to, get things going here early in the season.
Yeah, pretty early days still here in conference play for both of these teams. A couple coming off wins, though, as North Tartan recently took down Henry Sibley. Pick up their first conference win, I believe. Mahtomedi got a couple, including one against Hastings recently.
Yeah, Mahtomedi's 2 straight wins against Sibley and Hastings off to a 2-0 start. And they're tied with Hill Murray. And Hill Murray's dominated this conference for quite some time here. So maybe Mahtomedi is going to contend with the Pioneers a little bit.
And that would be big because Mahtomedi represents that Class 1A here in the state of Minnesota. Hill Murray now in 2A. Mahtomedi, a team that always kind of contests for that state tournament bid year in and year out. And I think a lot of that has to do with playing that tough Metro East Conference.
Yeah, absolutely. And, North Tartan, you got Mahtomedi and Hill Murray like we're talking about. Well, the other, team in the area is, the North Tartan co-op team. And, I think they want to, make a name for themselves as well and see if they can compete with those two programs as well.
Yeah, it's a team, second year as a combined program as puck floats into North Tartan zone, rebound. And that's brushed aside, but back into danger, right in the slot, whiffed on. And North Tartan will carry it out. And down to the other side. Fickadeni touches it. Back around the net. So we mentioned this is a Fab Four, SEC Sports Fab Four matchup. Conference foes as well, so two teams very familiar with each other. And first time they'll meet this season.
Yeah, and it's early in that season where, teams are still gelling and kind of feeling things out here. And, usually once they hit that winter break and come back after January, that's when, the cream rises to the top, if you will. And that's, where the good teams, take their place, where they're going to go off into March and, possible state tournament and that kind of deal. And, the other teams just kind of go through the motions and finish out the season.
Yes, Mahtomedi team got within a game of the state tournament a year ago, losing in the section final.
Yeah, one thing about Mahtomedi.
Shot in on Fickadeni, saved, gloved. We'll have a face-off.
As you say, Fickadeni is, she's a 3-year starter. She's a senior now, and she's been the, the starter for the last 3 years. A lot of experience, and that's what you need going into, late February and early March, is having that experienced goaltending that can keep you in a game.
So North Tartan wins the face-off. Knocked out of the zone. See if anybody gets to it before an icing call. Wave off the icing. As maybe got deflected. Mahtomedi will keep it in. Deflected, but turned aside by Olivia Schultz, the senior goaltender for North Tartan. Now brought up the near side. Carried into the Zephyr zone by Zoe Kolshak-Klein. She'll dump it behind Fickadeni's net. And it'll go to the corner. Zephyrs now will look to break. This is Erica Broughton trying to bring it in. That's taken off of her. And turned over again by North Tartan. North Tartan picks it up. Kolshak-Klein, she turns it over. Battle for it, but lost. And North Tartan has it.
Yeah, Kolshak-Klein, she's a senior defenseman, and she's been, on the varsity club here now for 3 years. she's leading points getter here for the North Tartan team, so she's definitely one of the leaders on the ice for this North Tartan club.
Yeah, that's a name a lot of SEC sports fans will be familiar with. Soccer player as well. Seen a lot of Coleshaw Klein's highlights over the years. In her senior year, as you said. Mahtomedi out in front again, taken away. And North Tartan tried to get something going, but just had to play it off the boards, and they'll switch it up. Tapped around, kept in the zone. There's Jordan McAlpine. She'll saucer it ahead to number 20, Megan Johnson, sophomore forward. Johnson loses it. And flip forward as North Tartan switches it up once again.
Yeah, one thing about these two programs over the last few years is, they've had a hard time getting an offensive rhythm. Both teams have had strong goaltending and different things like that, but, having consistent goal scoring and skaters that can, create scoring chances, that's where these two programs are lacking over the last few years. So, it's be interesting to see if they're starting to develop some better goal scorers here now.
Well, so far scoreless through about 5 minutes here tonight at a 0-0. We'll take a quick look at the Metro East standings. We talked about how it's early, but as you mentioned, Corey, Mahtomedi tied with Hill Murray right there at the top.
Yeah, Hill Murray's got the 7-2 overall record, but yeah, Mahtomedi, putting the heat on them, and got a 2-0 record just like the Pioneers, and it might not be as easy of a conference to win for the Pioneers this year.
That's right, and the Pioneers and Zephyrs will get together on Tuesday, December 19th, so that one's coming up fast. That should be another good test for this Zephyr squad. So face-off down in Mahtomedi's zone. It's going to be won by North Tartan. Kept in just barely. Thrown on net, but blocked in front. And the Zephyrs will try and turn and go. Hits off a skate. Now Mott will get possession. Battle on the far side, that's taken. Slipped though there by number 26, right on front of net. Touched the side. And North Tartan avoiding a little danger there. So take a look, shots on goal, Mahtomedi 2. And North Tartan has yet to register a shot.
Yeah, and if you watch the pace of play of this game, a lot of it's been back and forth, but not a lot of scoring chances. If both teams are just really feeling each other out early on.
Ooh, nice pass out in front. Hit off a skate. Not sure if Alexandra Sangner knew it was coming. Calpine tries to pick it up. It'll be kept in the zone, however. Shot in from distance, deflected. Trickles towards the corner. Battle for it on the boards. Mahtomedi will take it away. Skillings drops it back. Here's a shot across. That looked dangerous, but nobody home for the Zephyrs. McAlpine, she can sling it. That one goes high. And Mahtomedi now starting to put on the pressure. A few more shots on goal here in the last couple minutes. That one gliding across the face of goal. Sent down to the other end, and Ficadeni's got her arm raised, and we'll have a face-off.
Yeah, so far with Mahtomedi putting a little extra pressure on North Tartan here, and they've definitely had a handful of opportunities here to put one in here in the first 7 minutes. North Tartan really hasn't put much heat on Joanna Ficadeni yet, but like I said, still a lot of time left here in the first period to get something going.
We talked about Ficadeni's experience. She's going to be a tough goalie to beat if you don't start putting some pressure on her. But Mahtomedi offense doing a great job these last couple minutes. Probably their best string of play so far here tonight.
Yeah, I always felt with Ficadeni, the games we've done the last few years is the fact that offensively they don't put much heat on the opposing goaltender. It wears on her late in games. It's like she keeps them in the game the first couple of periods, but when she's seeing over 30 shots a game, eventually those pucks are going to go in.
And sometimes, they say, Corey, a good a good offense also can be a good defense. So I mean, I think to your point, they need to put some goals on the board to help out Ficcadetti a little bit, alleviate a little bit of pressure on her as well.
Yeah, it's just a lot easier to play with confidence when with a lead. And you know, over the last few years, I don't know, you know, many games that she's played with a lot of real comfortable leads. So,
well, certainly battle tested, and yet to allow anything tonight. Does have one save. I mentioned earlier, North St. Paul had 0 shots. They did have 1 shot, now up to 2. As we're down to about 9 minutes left to go here, opening period, no score between these two Metro East Conference rivals. Marissa Hawkins skates around with it, goes behind her net, looking to pass it out. Lost, but returned to North Tartan, and they'll carry it out of their own zone. Flipped ahead, that's knocked down at center ice. And Mahtomedi is going to have a nice odd rush. Shot on to Schultz, and she stands tall and makes the save.
yeah, I think Broughton might have jumped the gun a little bit on that shot. As you take a look, I mean, she pretty much had, Mahtomedi had a 3-on-1, a great opportunity to create something there, and she just pulled the trigger and put one on net. And you know, it was a great save by Schultz. If she doesn't get it, Mahtomedi definitely had the numbers for a rebound.
Wrist shot goes high from Tara Skillings. That one had a little bit of mustard to it. Trying to find it back to Skillings in the slot, taken away by Alyssa Ettinger. Thieshafer up the boards now, kept in. Mahtomedi will have to reset, go back on sides. Skillings bouncing puck turned to the side by Schultz. Battle along the boards, taken away by Ettlinger. Hits a couple sticks, eventually trickles out to the North Tartan zone towards center ice. Mahtomedi will keep it and have to reset. Back on side now. Coming in the left side. Puck battled for. Thieshafer. Dangerous pass out in front. Nothing there. Skillings again. She'll fire from distance. Schultz is there. She'll cover. And we'll have a face-off.
Yeah, it's been an interesting first 10 minutes here. The fact that, you know, Mahtomedi has, you know, controlled the zone almost the entire first period, but have yet to really put heat on the goaltender. So it's a situation where both teams are still kind of feeling each other out, but Mahtomedi is definitely, you know, outworking North Tartan right now, and they're definitely putting the pressure on North Tartan with keeping the puck in the zone.
North Tartan almost with a chance for an odd rush, but kept in the zone. Not sure if it's by design, but a lot of early shots from outside by Mahtomedi. Another one coming in, that deflects off a North Tartan defender.
Yeah, like you were saying, a lot of outside shots with opportunities if they skated in to get better looks too. They're just it's almost like they're a little surprised on the opportunities they're getting, and instead of making a nice, you know, smart hockey play, they're just kind of pulling the trigger right away. So that could be an adjustment we see later in the game here.
Excellent crossing pass, just missed by Emmy Nelson. And I think Olivia Schultz fortunate that the Zephyrs aren't on the board. Still into this North Tartan zone. 6 minutes now left to go here, opening period. Dump towards the net, off a skate. And North Tartan's just gonna have to clear it the length of the ice. Take a breath. And we'll have a face-off because of the icing.
Yeah, they've played almost a penalty kill style, you know, style so far this game. I mean, they're doing everything they can just to get the puck out of the zone. So I think it's an opportunity where Mahtomedi can be a little more, you know, pick their shots a little wiser instead of just trying to get, you know, putting the puck on net.
Yeah, I think we've seen that they've had opportunities for better shots, settled for some of those outside ones. We'll see if that continues. And boy, wouldn't it be big if North Tartan could sneak one into net after holding Mahtomedi off the board for so long. Kept in the zone. Brittany Weber sends it around. Haley Sutton there with the group, but now Mahtomedi is going to take it away. That's Anna Broughton. Broughton 2-on-1 pass, and that's a goal. Allie Franco finishes it off. Beautiful move and pass from Anna Broughton, and it's 1-0 to the Zephyrs.
Little 2-on-1. That was an easy one to put in the back of the net by Allie Franco, the 8th grader, who was one of our highlighted players coming into it. That's her 4th goal of the season, her 10th point overall, and she's an 8th grader, like I said. And we could be calling her name many times throughout this game. She's definitely one of the players to watch this evening there, Sam.
Yeah, you mentioned the 10 points on the season. That leads this Mahtomedi Zephyr team. 4 goals, 6 assists. So great start for the 8th grader, Allie Franco. Kind of we're going to talk about a little bit of a youth movement coming in this one, as the leading goal scorer for this North Tartan program is Lauren Henriksen, number 29. She's a sophomore, so a couple young players doing big things here for both these teams. Yeah, that's kind of something we touched on early in the game, is both these programs need to figure out a way to ignite their scoring and create some scoring opportunities and some offense for their goaltending. So we've seen one of them so far, Allie Franco, and maybe we'll be calling Lauren Hendrickson's name a little bit later here. So the Zephyrs lead 1-0. Counting down to about 4 minutes left to go here, opening period. From the St. Croix Valley Rec Center, we're going to have another icing call and face-off down in the Mahtomedi zone.
Yeah, an early lead for the senior goaltender, Joanna Figueretti, and I'm sure she's enjoying the fact of playing with an early lead here and getting comfortable.
Yeah, we saw a lot of those centering passes go right across the face of the goal through the crease. Nobody was home. And then eventually Emmy Nelson kind of whiffed on one. Eventually, though, Allie Franco was there, and she knocked it in. It was going to be pretty much only a matter of time, as it was wide open net on a lot of those. So let's see if Mahtomedi kind of keeps working that same approach.
Yeah, and that was a situation too where Erica Broughton earlier, she could have had a 3-on-1 opportunity, and she just pulled the trigger and put a shot on net. That situation there, she kind of watched the play develop and fed Franco perfectly, and she had no problem putting that puck in the back of the net.
Right on front, nets off the moorings, and finally we get a whistle.
Yeah, not to mention the the assist by Erica Broughton. She's a defenseman, and she's only a freshman too. So the fact that she's a 9th grader and Allie Franco's an 8th grader, the future looks pretty bright for the Zephyrs.
Face-off won by North Tartan, can't clear it out of the zone. Nearly poked away, sent in, deflected. Tap. North Tartan going to see if they can do anything with it. As Kylie Thompson tried to carry it in. She'll head towards the bench. Coleshaw Klein now. Tried to knock it off the boards, left it a little short. Turnover to the Zephyrs. Side boards now. Coleshaw Klein sends it across ice. Lost at the feet. North Tartan stays with it, but will have to play with it in the zone. Good passing out of their own defensive zone up ahead. And just out of the reach, can't chase it down. We'll have an icing call. Haley Sutton couldn't quite get there. And it'll be a face-off down to the left of Olivia Schultz. And Olivia Schultz, one of 2 senior goaltenders for this North Tartan squad. And both kind of seen some action this season.
Yeah, you know, over the last few years, you know, a lot of the fact that, you know, North and Tartan, you know, have two organizations that come together at the varsity level. You know, they kind of do a platooning type situation when they have equally skilled goaltenders, and I think, you know, that's what they're doing again this year. One plays one game and one plays the other. And, you know, they'll be roll with the hot hand once something's going around.
Yeah, it can be difficult, but sometimes can be a luxury for a coaching staff if you got goalies that get on streaks at the right time and just plug and play the right ones. Another one of those centering passes, dangerous. Nobody home though. Schultz turns that effort to the side.
Yeah, that goaltending situation always remind me of the Wild's playoff run early on in their existence when Jacques Lemaire would go with you know, Dwayne Rollison, and once he would lose, then he'd stick Manny Fernandez in, and once he would lose, he'd go back to Rollison. As soon as one of them lose, he just kept going with the hot hand, and it got him far enough, but not quite to the cup. But
I know. Those guys always did so well. I always wondered how come, you know, nobody picked them up as a full-time starter. You know, I come to find out that it was kind of, you know, their stats were a little misleading. They were just kind of doing their job on their right night. You know what I mean? And if they had to do it full time, it might not be as consistent success. So face-off won again by North Tartan in their own zone. Minute and a half now left to go. Clock is stopped in here. We'll see if anybody notices. We're still stuck on 125. Officials haven't noticed. 1-0 lead for the Zephyrs, and we might get a little extra hockey here in the opening period. And now we're running. As Mahtomedi here in his own centering. A couple North Tartan defenders there. They're going to try and rush the other direction.
Yeah, that clock situation was probably the worst case scenario for the North Tartan ladies here. You know, the game's not out of hand or nothing, but I think they'd like to go back to the locker room and kind of regroup and try building some momentum out of the second period, because it's definitely been all Zephyrs here in the first.
Boy, things have been interesting with some of these scores in the last 30 seconds or so, and there might be an opportunity. I think we're going to have a penalty there. Shot across, turned aside by Ficcadetti. North Tartan will try and get an extra skater on, but Mahtomedi there for touch and kill the puck. And it's going to be a cross check. So we're going to have our first look at a power play here tonight.
Yeah, this will be a good opportunity for North Tartan here to get a little momentum going into the locker room here. You know, they got 40 seconds here to kind of, you know, challenge Ficcadetti here a little bit and possibly even, you know, put one in here before the end of the first.
Good opportunity for North Tartan here, though, with the power play. It looks like it was number 7, Ellie Donovan, going into the box for Mahtomedi. Freshman, 2 minutes for the cross check. And freshman getting a little physical there. Take a look. You know, you don't hate that penalty. I mean, that was a real good opportunity right there with North Tartan on the doorstep. And I think the referees might be discussing the clock stoppage issue, and I think they're going to call this a period.
Yeah,
as North Tartan's heading to the locker room. It looks like, yeah, Mahtomedi is too. Sorry, Corey.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, we were sitting on the time when you noticed it there, and we must have ran off about 30 seconds or so before they started moving it again. So
I guess the referees think it was a little bit more. They're going to stop it. We have 39 seconds left to go. But yeah, it was something like that. So that will be an interesting end to your first period. We'll take a look at those Metro East standings. At Mahtomedi at 2-0 in conference, 4-5 overall, and North St. Paul coming into this one 1-1 in conference, 2-5-2 overall.
Yeah, North St. Paul Tartan has an opportunity coming into the second period, down 1-0 with a skater advantage here with a power play, and like I said, it'll be fun to see what the second period brings.
All right, we will stay with you through that break, but we'll have a couple of items for you while you stay with us. This is from, we're going to bring you a clip from one of our programs here on SEC Sports. It's from every first and third Wednesday of the month at 7 p.m. Myself and my partner John Miller host the show Sports Path right here on SEC Community TV. And while we have some time, sit back and enjoy this segment from the show. This is the social media montage where we get stuff from social media that pertains to our Fab Four, and we show it to you all. So enjoy a little clip from the social media montage. All right, to start this week's montage, we head over to the Mahtomedi girls basketball Twitter page to see a tweet from December 2nd. That was a couple Saturdays ago. The Zephyrs took on De La Salle in a highly rated matchup. De La Salle upset the Zephyrs last season in the Section 4 3A tournament, and this year De La Salle started the season ranked #1 in the state. Well, the Zephyrs handed De La Salle their first loss of the season. They didn't just win a nail-biter like De La Salle's upset last year. They clobbered the Islanders 52-36, an impressive performance by the Zephyrs. So let's go, baby. Let's go.
Oh, always got to love the Zephyrs girls team. Well, next we head over to the White Bear Lake boys hockey page. Simple tweet here. Game over. Bears 3, Greyhounds 3. Brilliant night of hockey. A very humble tweet coming from the Bears, who just skated to a 3-3 tie with the #2 team in the state, Duluth East. Duluth East went up 3-0 in that first period, but the Bears battled back and ended up with 2 goals in the second and a game-tying goal in the third to keep their undefeated season. And as of today, their record is 2-0-1. The real question here, Sam, is can White Bear Lake take down Hill Murray Pioneers? We'll find out December 3rd, where we got that rivalry game from Aldrich Arena right here on SEC TV, and you'll be on the call, Sam.
That's right, John. Love the simplicity of that tweet. It's going to be a treat just a couple days before Christmas on the 23rd. I can't wait. And I guess that'll wrap up our short social media montage. So that's a little taste of the social media montage from a little program here on SEC called Sports Path. And a reminder there, that's every first and third Wednesday of the month at 7 p.m. We got another one of those coming up next Wednesday, not tomorrow, but the Wednesday following. I believe that's the 20th, live at 7 p.m. So look for that. 1-0 here, first intermission. Mahtomedi got a goal there a little bit late on into the period. North Tartan, is going to start off the second period though with a power play. So a good chance to get back into it.
Yeah, Mahtomedi, you know, this a goal by Allie Franco, the 8th grader, her fourth goal of the season on a nice assist by the 9th grader, Erica Broughton. So that's kind of where we're at, you know, so far in that game.
Yeah, so that's where we're at right now. Let's take a look at these two teams' upcoming schedules. And we'll see North St. Paul starts with Henry Sibley after this one on the 15th.
Yeah, Henry Sibley, and, you know, and then they got the big matchup against Hill Murray there on December 19th, and that'll be a big test for this young North Tartan girls team. And then, you know, kind of headed into the holidays there with Simley and Princeton, and then, you know, once the new year brings around, it's go time, and it's time to, you know, get everything together and put all your eggs in a basket and hopefully make a little run towards, you know, a nice little run in sections.
Yeah, interesting schedule there. A lot of non-conference and conference games sort of jumbled together, mixed together. So you go to South St. Paul, then Parker Cottage Grove, St. Croix Valley, then a conference meeting in Hastings and Grand Rapids, and non-conference, back to Mahtomedi conference matchup. It's a lot of mixing and matching there for North St. Paul Tartan. You know, we talk about this team's in their second year of existence. Good way to get a lot of experience, play a lot of different teams, you know, kind of see where your team fits in there with the rest of the competition. And for your Mahtomedi Zephyrs, after this one on the 19th, they'll play South St. Paul. I believe I misspoke during the first period. I was reading North St. Paul's schedule. They got Hill Murray on January the 5th, and so far where the standings are, that's looking like it's going to be a good matchup.
Yeah, that's a big run there that they have. I mean, they've got, you know, over the holiday break, I mean, you got Hudson, and Hudson's one of the better teams in you know, Wisconsin. I mean, they're pretty much a suburb of the Twin Cities. You have the Schwann's Cup, which is always a fun thing for these teams to do, and then, you know, Roseville, Hill Murray back to back. I mean, that's going to be a tough, you know, little stretch there, because, you know, Roseville's always a competitive team. Hill Murray's been the dominant team in this conference for some time, you know, and then they, you know, the same thing like we said about North Tartan is, you know, then end of January, rolling into February. Hopefully they got things rolling, and you know, you try, you know, putting everything together and making that run in sections, and hopefully a shot at going to state.
Definitely pays off to play hockey, good hockey at the right time. Something that stood out to me at that graphic, Corey, a lot of road games coming up for this Mahtomedi Zephyr team. Only about 5 home games on that entire list there. So that's going to be a tough test. And as you said, big test as you head towards the postseason.
Well, not only that, but I mean, this is their home ice in Stillwater. So I mean, it's the whole season is pretty much a road game almost for these ladies' Zephyrs.
Yeah, I suppose any team that's going to be able to stand up to a lot of road games would be this Mahtomedi Zephyr squad as they share this rink with Stillwater. All right, well, you're still with us. Mahtomedi got that goal there. We're at the first intermission. Mahtomedi got that goal in the first period, leading it 1-0. And we are going to go to another segment from Sports Path. This one is by my partner, John Miller. It is Athletes of the Week. That is on Sports Path. That's that show that we do first and third Wednesday of the month at 7 p.m. right here on SEC Community. So let's check out the Athletes of the Week from our past episode.
All right, for my male athlete of the week, I'm going with Mahtomedi basketball senior forward number 20, Jack Shen, November 30th against that Chisago Lakes. He had 23 points to lead the Zephyrs to a win. He's really got to step up after they lost their whole starting crew last year. Now for the girls, I have to go with White Bear Lake number 5, Courtney Crouch, basketball player. She had 15 points in that win that we showed you earlier, and she was just absolutely all over the court. She played outstanding. She's a heck of a player, and she gave us a great interview that we just showed you guys. And that wraps up this segment of Athletes of the Week.
So that was the Athletes of the Week from our last episode of Sports Path. My man John Miller, partner on that show, doing that little segment right there. Congratulations to our athletes. And back to our current action. Mahtomedi leads it 1-0 at the break. We will step aside for a brief moment. North St. Paul will be on the power play when we start period number 2, and we'll catch you back for the drop of the puck.
Hey, look, it's those guys.
What's up? What's happening today?
Let's hit those pearly whites, man.
Yeah. The boys, check it out.
Stand up, do my chair is gonna compare us.
Ooh, cute.
Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
Hey girl, what's up? What's the name? What's good? What's up?
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Sir, go and step out of the vehicle for me.
Yes, sir. See ya, buddy. Today, Sean's got a hearing. We'll see how it goes. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
Recently, our country has witnessed catastrophic devastation. Hurricanes and flooding have upended lives and livelihoods.
Across this great country, Americans have answered the call.
That special calling that compels us, when others are down, to step up and do whatever it takes.
America's at her best when, against all odds, we come together and lift each other up.
Please donate to oneamericaappeal.org. America needs you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Listen. All it took was someone who would insist that I just try.
Suddenly, everything was turned around because they judge you.
You tell them, I don't need this.
No one is going to understand.
Unless they've been through it, how can they?
Then one day you realize
You feel so hopeless.
I need help. I need help.
You feel so hopeless.
Then one day you realize,
unless they've been through it, how can they understand?
I don't need this.
no one's going to judge you. Suddenly everything was turned around because they insist that I just try.
All it took was someone who would just
listen.
Welcome back. Getting ready for the start of period number 2. Mahtomedi leads at 1-0 after 1. Here's a look at Olivia Schultz. Had a pretty nice period. Stopped 7 of the 8 shots she faced as the Zephyrs outshot North Tartan 8-2 in that first period. Sam Erickson joined alongside Corey Franzmeyer here to bring the action here tonight in Metro East and Fab 4 matchup right here on SEC Sports.
as you can see here, like a early shot on goal, and that was kind of what Mahtomedi was doing early in the game, was just kind of pulling the trigger on early shots. And then you had the beautiful feed there to Allie Franco for the goal, her 4th of the year, 10th point overall. And like we mentioned earlier, she's an 8th grader, very skilled skater, and the future's very bright with that talented Zephyr player there.
Yeah, definitely a nice thing to add to a team that already has a lot of good players and good experience. Talked about Ficadenti in net, the senior 3-year starter. There's a look at head coach Nick First in what is the 2nd year, I believe, of North Tartan as a combined program at the varsity level.
Yeah, it's kind of it. Yeah, I think it's the 3rd year there, Sam. But one thing that's interesting about that program is they have different feeder youth programs. So these girls don't actually get together and blend them together until the high school, because the North St. Paul girls are fed up through the Johnson Como North St. Paul organization, and then the Tartan girls are the Metro Stars. So once they get to the high school level, now you're trying to blend these two different almost styles of hockey together and trying to be competitive.
Oh, I think that's a good point, John. One of the things I always point to for a lot of Mahtomedi's success is you feel that a lot of these players played together at the youth level. They always seem very familiar with each other. And that can be one of the tricky things for these combo programs. I mean, not to mention these girls, not all of them go to the same high school, but they didn't grow up playing in the same youth programs either.
Well, I think a lot of it, what they're going to end up having to do here as this, because, the numbers are good. I think they're just going to have to, either at the 12-year-old level, that's when the girls come together, like North St. Paul only provides, girls hockey through 10-year-olds, and then once that comes up, then you go over and play at the Stars,
Yeah, might have to combine it a little bit more at the youth level at this point. Good pressure from North Tartan to start this period. Power play has about 40 seconds left to go. There was a cross-check penalty right at the end of that first period. North St. Paul had a great opportunity right on the doorstep. And I think Mahtomedi elected to maybe take a chance on not getting a penalty called against them and protect their own net. Referees saw it though, and that is why they have a player in the box.
Yeah, I think, 10 seconds left in the power play. It's running a lot of time. I was going to say, come out and be patient on this power play and just kind of create some opportunities. You're still in this game, but don't feel like you got to get everything back and just one opportunity. Just put some little pressure on Ficadenti and just kind of at least kind of I guess put your best skate forward and just try to make this game competitive. It's only 1-0, but it's been heavily dominated by Mahtomedi so far.
Yeah, I was going to say, it only takes one. So you like the 1-goal deficit. Allie Franco wins the face-off for Mahtomedi. North Tartan's going to take it away, skate behind their own net. Now tapped in front, dangerous, but out of the zone. Mott will have to get back on side. Marissa Hawkins sends it around, back to Hawkins. She looks up ice, tries to send it along the boards. Unable to be dealt with. And now Mahtomedi will have a nice rush into the offensive zone. Poke too far away from Brianna Cashin. Cashin in the corner. A couple of North Tartan defenders battling with her. Now gets a little bit of help from Molly Farrell. Trip now, and we're going to have another penalty, a second one against Mahtomedi.
Well, I tell you what, Mahtomedi is definitely doing whatever they can to keep North Tartan in this game. A lot of the scoring opportunities they had in that first period, and only walking out of the first period with one, and now they've given North Tartan another opportunity with a power play, and it's up to these girls now to take advantage of the situation.
It'll be Molly Farrell, number 8, going to the box. 2 minutes. 14-11 left to go here, period number 2. 1-0, Mahtomedi leading. Corey, I was kind of looking through some of the box scores for this Mahtomedi team, and I believe it was their last game. They actually committed 7 penalties. Game they won, but spent a lot of time in the penalty box, so sure that's something that head coach is going to want to improve upon, and that can be dangerous in these close games.
Yeah, you know, and the fact that they have, you know, 5 seniors on the team, 2 of them are goaltenders, you know, that only leaves you 3 senior, you know, skaters. So it's definitely a young team, and, you know, young teams, you know, commit a lot of mistakes. But, you know, with the talent this team has, you know, hopefully they commit these mistakes early in the season, and, you know, as they go towards, you know, January and February, they get those lessons learned.
Wicked deflection. Looks like it came up and hit the crossbar. Ficadenti nearly scored on. And yeah, the only time North St. Paul is threatened at all on offense is when Mahtomedi has been on the penalty kill. They're going to have a rush the other way. Might have something short-handed. Centering pass. Nice move. That's a goal. Number 23, Emmy Nelson, that's it. And it's going to be a 2-0 lead on the shorthander for Mahtomedi.
Yeah, you know, a shorthanded opportunity here. It was, you know, even strength, you know, 2-on-2 there, just a nice pass, and Emmy Nelson with the nice little backhand put in.
Yeah, we talked about number 29 for North Tartan, Lauren Henriksen, being the leading goal scorer on that one. Looked like Emmy Nelson just kind of beat her to that puck, got behind her, and had the one-on-one with the goalie.
Yeah, that's her 3rd goal of the year, the sophomore forward. So, you know, we've got the youth movement here in Mahtomedi is alive and well. A lot of good young talented skaters with a nice, you know, veteran goaltender. You know, if these girls can get the kind of the youthful mistakes out of their system early in the season, you know, they could be a force to reckon with later on.
Nice centering pass. Nobody home for North Tartan, and that will expire the penalty as Molly Farrell skates back onto the ice. Well, I mentioned that this Mahtomedi team got 7 penalties in their last game. It's a game they won. But you got to imagine against some of the better competition, you might not be able to get away with that so much. We talked about right now this team's tied with Hill Murray in the standings. And that could be a big game on the 19th. This Mahtomedi team, you're talking about, you know, they got a lot of good young players, got some good experienced players as well. This could be a very dangerous team in the 1A level.
No, absolutely. I mean, the fact that, you know, they play, you know, in 2A in the conference, and you know, I mean, all the girls that we've mentioned other than the goaltender tonight are all, you know, 8th graders and freshmen and sophomores. So, you know, they're going to make mistakes, but, you know, I mean, you get those out of the way, and, you know, lessons learned, and, you know, they might be ready to roll for a little stretch run here come February, March.
Yeah, I think that's something with Mahtomedi. You know, their records in a lot of sports can always be a little misleading because of the fact that you mentioned they play some of those bigger schools, the higher competition within their own conference. You know what I mean? So they're going against these 2A schools in their own conference. Tough competition. Yeah, they might not win those games, but it prepares them to see good teams come playoff time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we did the opener this year against Red Wing, and you know, that's a pretty talented team in Class A. And you know, the mistakes that the Mahtomedi made when it came to, you know, penalties and different things like that, Red Wing had no problem capitalizing on those, and that was the difference in that 5-2 Red Wing victory.
Mahtomedi leading here 2-0 in this Metro East matchup. Both these teams with a couple Metro East games under their belt. Only one shared opponent between these two is Hastings. North Tartan losing to Hastings 3-1 back on Tuesday the 5th. Mahtomedi got past Hastings 3-0 last Friday.
Yeah, I think right now, I mean, what you see from North Tartan is they don't have that explosive skater or skaters. You know, I mean, right now they're just kind of playing back on their heels and doing whatever they can to protect their goalie and keep the puck, get the puck out of the zone. You know, they have not done much of attacking Mahtomedi zone, and you know, like you touched on earlier, the only real scoring opportunities they've had are on both the power plays, and they've only managed, you know, a shot or two.
Yeah, right now Mahtomedi out shooting North Tartan 10-5. I would argue that Mahtomedi definitely had a lot of good scoring opportunities that maybe didn't show up on those shots on goal as well.
And to credit Olivia Schultz, I mean, both goals scored by Mahtomedi were fantastic, plays by the Mahtomedi skaters. I mean, those weren't
a little let down by her defense for sure.
Those definitely weren't situations where she was just made a mistake or just something like that. I mean, it was a situation where she would have needed to do something miraculous to stop those opportunities.
Mahtomedi gathers it at center's ice, taps it ahead. North Tartan trying to bang it off the glass. Battle to keep it in the zone. Schultz will put a cover on it, and we'll have a whistle after a few seconds and a face-off. There's a good look at Schultz in net, number 30, one of the two goaltenders that split time for this North Tartan squad. And Schultz kind of got the majority, the majority of the playing time so far this year.
Yeah, she's got this is her 7th game in net, and Baker's got 3. She's picked up 2 victories, but Schultz is she's stopping 92% of the shots, and allowing about a little under 3 goals a game. So I mean that shows. I mean she's keeping the team in the game. They just got to find some offense, and if my goalie's giving up,
you saw right there, 2 Mahtomedi skaters in front of the defenders. Nothing Schultz can do on that one, as a near chance on one end leads to a goal on the other end for Mahtomedi, and they make it a 3-0 lead.
As we're giving Schultz the credit due there. I mean, anytime your goaltenders giving up less than 3 goals a game, I mean, it's I'll take that every time. It's just you got to find some offense, and as the girls get more experience and different things like that, and kind of gel together, I mean, I think those opportunities will come.
Well, last goal, I think Ali Franco is going to get the credit for. That'll be her 2nd on the night, bringing her point total up to 11 and increasing her point total lead on the season here for the Zephyr squad. The 8th grader, Ali Franco, doing big things. And I think they gave the goal to Broughton, if I heard correctly, over the PA. Franco getting the assist. But still adding to that point total, Franco.
Yeah, absolutely. Not too bad, being 10 games in your varsity career and having 5 goals and 7 assists. Like I said, the future's bright with that one.
Yeah, she didn't even go to school in the same building as the rest of the team yet. Not what you want to see if you're North Tartan, now trailing 3-0 and not looking very threatening on the offensive end.
And that's one of those things where you're getting outshot 13-6. It's one thing if you're down 3-0 and it's the shots are 13-13 and you're peppering Ficcadendi, she's standing on her head, but it's it gets a little tough when you're not mounting much offense and Mahtomedi just keeps pouring it on. So it could make for a long evening unless they get something turned around here.
Yeah, and the 6 shots that Ficcadendi stopped haven't tested her terribly.
I think the one that tested her the most, she didn't even stop. It went off the crossbar there.
Yeah, it took kind of a deflection, and I think it clanked a little bit of iron. So 3-0, 6.5 minutes left to go here, period number 2. North Tartan, though, with it in the zone, trying to send something in on net. But intercepted, taken the other way. Ellie Donovan. North Tartan, though, gets it right back, whiffed on the backhand. As Ettlinger trying to do something. For North Tartan, they keep it in the zone, battle on the far side boards. A couple players from both squads. And they'll finally trickle out, stays in, shot in, hits a skate. And Mahtomedi will try and go, but intercepted at center ice. Tartan tried to do a quick switch, got one player off the ice. Now Mahtomedi will make a wholesale change. A couple of girls get tangled up trying to go over the boards. And North Tartan might try and take advantage here. 3-on-3 opportunity. Good defense from Jordan McAlpine, number 27 for the Zephyrs.
Yeah, North Tartan here doing a good job here over the last minute and a half, 2 minutes, showing some good fight. You know, they've put a couple shots on that and kept the puck in Mahtomedi's zone. So, like I said, there's not any quitting these girls, and like I said, there's still plenty of game left.
I think you're right, though, Corey. They just need somebody that can unlock this defense a little bit, maybe skate by one of the defenders and just kind of break things down. They do a good job keeping possession, keeping the puck in the zone, but just not a whole lot of scoring opportunities, not a lot close to the net.
And it's one of those things just to have one of these opportunities fall in too. That gives you all the confidence in the world and kind of gives you the spark that you need as well to kind of get you through the rest of this game.
And Jocelyn Thieschafer nearly had a chance to skate up on one, but good job by the Zephyr defense getting a stick to it and deflecting it away. Under 5 minutes now left to go, second period. Mahtomedi on the break, right side, center to the slot, and good enough defense by Jaden Thieschafer. Now scramble out in front, puck's somewhere, eventually trickles out to another Thieschafer, number 3 for North Tartan. She'll tap it up the boards. It's eventually collected by Emma Dornsief. And it'll be sent down for icing, and we will have a face-off. Take a look. This is the centering chance. As you see, Thieschafer just getting a stick to it. And that might have been another one.
And that's the last thing, though, that North Tartan needs is a situation where they can't get the puck out of the zone. I mean, that situation where, Schultz makes a nice save, and someone's got to get their stick on that puck and get it out of the zone right away. I mean,
excellent flipped up pass, 2-on-1 opportunity, centering, and just out of the reach of Molly Farrell. Looked like they had to slow up just enough, and North Tartan defense able to get back and disrupt.
Yeah, that was one of those situations where you got a play developing and you've got a 2-on-1, and the girls just ran out of room. They just ran out of space to make that play.
Schultz turns another puck aside. North Tartan will collect and head towards the Mahtomedi zone. Dump it down. Ficadeni will play it. Touch it off to Erica Broughton. Broughton turns it over. It'll get it back. She'll look ahead. Farrell taps it. No icing. Deflected. North Tartan behind their own goal. A little back and forth. Thieschafer now up ahead. Tap behind McAlpine. Shot on the right-hand side. Goes wide. I think Ficadeni got a stick to it.
That was one of those situations where
Lauren Hendrickson battling in the corner, kicks it out. Another battle along these near side boards. Shot from distance. I don't think Ficadeni saw that right away, but able to get down on the near side shot and cover it up for the faceoff.
I wasn't sure who had that breakaway there on for North Tartan, but regardless, I mean, the opportunity was hers. I mean, the shot was a good idea, and she could have made a pass. But like I said, Ficadeni put a nice stick save on there, and did her job. But that was a great play by that North Tartan skater.
Yeah, I think it was number 29, Lauren Hendrickson, the leading goal scorer. So no surprise that she elected to take the shot. She has 6 goals, leading goal scorer for this North Tartan squad. 29, Lauren Hendrickson, a sophomore. We've discussed the youth movement. Big for both these teams, and we have a penalty.
Yeah, they're in a situation too where they've got 6 seniors and 2 of them are the goaltenders, so they've got 4 senior skaters out there for North. Mahtomedi has 3, so both these teams are young, and they're going to make mistakes, and they're still trying to learn their way here earlier in the season. I guarantee you the second time we see these 2 teams, they're going to be a lot more polished. I mean, we don't see them again until the end of January, so that's a whole month, a little over a month away.
It'll be 2 minutes for slashing, and Mahtomedi will have their first chance on the power play. And this could be big for the Zephyrs. Might be able to put it to bed here late in the second period. Skating right in on that centering pass, just out of the reach. Think it maybe got deflected. Zephyrs keeping in the zone. Big crash. The refs are going to wave it away.
Yeah, I think they got who's that? Klein or Colshaw Klein, I think, got away with one there. I mean, a check from behind, that could have been an easy 5-on-3 opportunity for the Zephyrs.
Mahtomedi gonna enjoy some possession in their opponent's zone. Shot, no angle. Not sure if I think Schultz maybe gave up the rebound there. Regardless, puck's in the back of the net, and the Zephyrs lead 4-0 on the power play goal. And it was maybe number 15, Abby Hansen, getting on the end of this one. We'll take a look.
Hansen. Yeah, there she is. Just dirty work out there. Nice save by Schultz, and then, just knowing that the play is not dead yet, and just keep working hard. And Abby Hansen puts in her second goal of the season. So, like I said, great hard work and lunch pail-in type goal right there by the junior.
And something I've kind of noticed here with these couple of Zephyr goals is that North Tartan defense having a tough time staying in front of their, the offense is slipping behind the defenders, getting right in front of that goal, and it's Olivia Schultz is one-on-one with the Mahtomedi skater, and more often than not, the offensive player is going to win that battle.
And that makes it tough for a goaltender. It doesn't matter how skilled and talented a goaltender can be, if she's not getting any help from her defenseman, it just makes for a long night. And plus the fact when you have a situation like Abby Hansen did right there, where she's playing right till the whistle blows, so she's still working, she's still got the stick moving out there, and that was a nice second chance goal by her.
Excellent hustle play, makes it a 4-0 game. 40 seconds left to go, period 2. And North St. Paul tallying a few more shots, only 16-11. Zephyrs out shooting North Tartan right now.
They've definitely had a bit of a spark here in the second half of this second period when it came to, getting the puck in the zone and creating some opportunities for themselves. And, hopefully for them, that's something they can build upon in the locker room and, come out with a little fire right to the end here in the third period.
Yeah, I thought they've had good energy here in the second period. I think a couple of those Mahtomedi penalties helped, get a little bit of rhythm on offense. But nothing in the net for North Tartan so far. They'll keep it in the zone. 10 seconds left to go here, second period. And I think that'll pretty much do it as North Tartan dumped it down to switch things up. So the buzzer sounds, and after 2, it is now a 4-0 game. Mahtomedi leading North Tartan. We're going to hang with you, but like we did at the first intermission, we're going to give you a little bit of programming from one of our other shows here on SEC, and that is Sports Path. We're going to do another segment from Sports Path. This is the Coach's Corner. That's from that show I mentioned during the first intermission, Sports Path. That's the first and third Wednesday of every month. And on this segment of Coach's Corner, we talked with White Bear Lake boys head hockey coach Tim Sager about his experiences on the ice. So enjoy this segment of Coach's Corner.
Hi there, everybody. Welcome here inside the second episode of Coach's Corner here on Sports Path. Of course, winter sports have started, and I'm pleased to be joined this episode by White Bear Lake High School hockey coach, Mr. Tim Sager. Tim, thanks for joining us here tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start out with this question. We talked a little bit about your experiences coming in here. You've been as a coach for 33 years and then in White Bear Lake for 16. Tell us a little bit about how you came to be head coach here in White Bear Lake.
Well, I think just the experience of, I grew up in St. Paul and ended up getting a scholarship out of high school as a graduate of Cretin, and fortunate enough to get a scholarship to the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and played 4 years there. I was in 3 national championships there. We won 2. Just kept working on my undergraduate degree. I always know I wanted to coach. I had some great coaches. So Came back to the Twin Cities as a young guy and just started working my way up through JV hockey into an assistant's job. And hockey, athletics don't pay the bill, so I was trying to get a teaching job, and they were very scarce at the time. So I headed back to central Wisconsin, a little town called Medford, and I was there for 3 years. They started a high school program, and then I was at Wausau East High School for 9. And then the job opened up here and applied, and wanted to get back to always knew I wanted to get back to the Twin Cities and Minnesota hockey. So very fortunate and humbled to be the head coach here.
So now that you've been here for as long as you have, what is it that keeps you coming back to coach this program year in and year out?
I think seeing, helping kids get better as people. The hockey part is pretty easy. It's just, now having guys come back that have played for me and part of my coaching staff, also helping coaches learn how to be coaches. It's not quote the 9-to-5 job. It's 24/7, and it's 12 months out of the year. And if it isn't on the ice, you're helping with college, you're helping with academics, the whole 9 yards. So it's still fun. When the fun leaves, that's when I'll be done. But no, I'm still having a good time with it, and we got a great coaching staff, we got great administration here, so it's been just a blast.
One of the things that I see you as a phy-ed teacher at Central Middle School here in the White Bear Lake area, I see that you're interacting with kids on an almost daily basis, sitting outside your room before home base and just saying different things to different kids. How important is the role of forming a relationship with students, players, into what you do in a hockey program?
Well, it's just a huge part. They get to know you as a teacher, and then they know you as a coach, and and kids that are in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, you're building those relationships, especially the hockey players when you get to see them and ask them about their day and how things are going. And, by the time they get to you as sophomores, juniors, and seniors, you've got a background on them, and you understand who they are, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are to help them with. So, yeah, it's a fun job. A lot of people shy away from the middle school. We call it Hormone Central, and you just sort of laugh at things and some of the decisions they make. But we're there to help them grow as people.
So, of course, with the hockey team, great start to the season already so far. A dominating effort against Roseville on Saturday night. Talk a little bit about what you liked out of that effort on Saturday.
Well, the energy. It's a brand new team. We only have 6 seniors or so on the team, so there's a lot of raw talent right now there that have come up from the Bantam AA championship team from last year. Guys stepping in different roles. That's fun for me to see these juniors now grab the reins, and now they're the leaders, showing the younger guys how things are done. And the effort was, there was a lot of energy. I didn't like the way it ended. The energy went away a little bit for the 3rd period, and it seemed like it was more of a July afternoon scrimmage because the intensity wasn't there. So, we talk about 3 words in our locker room when we're talking about playing the game. The first is setting the tempo. The 2nd period we try to dominate, and the 3rd we try to finish. And I didn't like the way we finished. There's just too many little quirky things that if you're playing a real quality team, they're gonna exploit that. So it's things we need to clean up. Again, we've had 3 practices, so we've got a lot of time. This team will be a lot different in a month, and in 2 months it'll be a lot different. But it's been a great start so far.
Speaking of those quality teams coming around the corner, I looked at a stat online that said 10 of the 25 games you play this year is against teams currently ranked in the top 20 in Class 2A. How do you prepare for those tougher opponents, and do you make any changes?
Through the years that I've been here, we've got a pretty good idea of what each team's going to be doing. We've already seen Edina in a scrimmage, and they look like they're at mid-season form. They got quite a few Division I commits, so it's a great challenge for us to get better. That's the level we want to try and play at. We try and schedule the toughest schedule we can to get better. We don't worry about wins and losses. Those things will take care of themselves. We just want to develop as a team, and it's quote, it's not a sprint, it's a journey through everything. So like I said, come January, it'll be a great challenge against Edina. Tomorrow night with Cloquet and Duluth East. Duluth East is a senior-laden team with a lot of quality players, where Cloquet is more of a junior-laden team with some real top-end forwards. So it's going to be a great challenge for us, and we look forward to it.
So speaking of those opponents, is there anyone on your calendar that you really have circled as this is a game we need to win?
Well, I think we want to win them all. We just want to get better. If we can constantly get better, you know, the wins and losses will take care of themselves if we're doing the things that we need to do. You know, it's like the other night we talked after the game, and I just, you know, as a coaching staff, we always talk about, it's about us, you know, getting better at our system. It's not about the opponent, it's about what we need to do. And, you know, we saw some good things the other night, but there's, you know, it's in the infancy stage, so we're looking forward to a lot of good things.
So talk with us again through 16 years as White Bear Lake hockey head coach. You have to have one favorite memory that's really stuck with you through the years. What would that one be?
Oh boy, I would tend to say there's a couple. You know, it was always my dream as a high school hockey player to get to the state tournament, and Coach Anderson was my first captain here to be able to get to a state tournament that first year. Brought a tear to my eye, and all the hard work that had paid off. I never knew if I was going to get that chance. Walking down the tunnel at the X as the coach, and then I would say, you know, there's so many great memories of kids just giving every day. You know, I think as I've gotten older, I like practice more than the games because that's when you can help them. But I would tend to think as people would say, the major upset in 2011, where you know, I think Hill Murray was rated the #1 team in the country in prep hockey, and you know, they took it to us here early on in a non-conference game, and watching our guys develop, and we knew that we were going to have to do a couple different things, but seeing them upset them and having seniors crying on your shoulder, thanking you and believing in them. But I mean, those are two that stick out, but there's many that have stuck out. You know, it's just some great people have helped me in this program. We've got great kids, quality kids that have come through this program. So, you know, I'm just proud to say that I'm the head coach of them.
Let's go ahead and talk about your top lines forwards again with Austin Carroll, Max Jenrich, and then Chase Hampstead as well. What have you seen over their careers as far as their improvements and the way that they battle every single night?
Well, I think one of the things going back to having Coach Greer here as the forward coach 3 years ago, before he stepped away, we saw all this raw talent in these three young guys, and we knew that they would struggle the first year because they were playing against the top lines, but we saw the potential. And, you know, all three of them are great guys on the ice. They're great leaders. They're, you know, academically, they work extremely hard. So we're trying to mold them into, you know, quality people for society. But here at the rink, just the hard work that's gone into developing, and now they've all grown. They're big guys, and you know, they're our go-to guys. And you saw the other night, you know, when they really move the puck, they're fun to watch. But it's going to be nice to see them come against some real quality teams and see how they do when they handle that type of pressure. And you know, it's been fun. You know, they have worked extremely hard to get where they're at, and you know, they don't back down from any challenge. So it's been fun to watch.
Last question for you. If there was any aspiring coaches or aspiring hockey players that would be watching this interview, what advice would you give to them as they try to start their career down that path?
It has to be fun. The wins and losses will take care of themselves. It's a whole lot of work. It's a whole lot of dedication. The guys that are, you know, behind us over our shoulder out there, and the guys on our JV, we've got 37 guys, and if you figured out when they were all knee-high shavers starting over at Central and, you know, in the Hippodrome over there, you know, there's roughly 400 kids, and it's down to 37. So it's, you know, you're in a select group. There's a lot of pride pulling that jersey over your head, but you know, you got to commit yourself. You got to work hard when you think you're working hard, work harder. But the coaching has been so rewarding. You know, helping kids, having people call you when they come back, or, you know, all of a sudden out of the blue they give you a call and how are things going? I got 3, 4, 5 calls the other night before we played from former players. Hey, good luck, coach, and have a fun season. So, you know, it's just it's a lot of work, but you know what? It pays off because you're helping young people, and that's what it's all about. It's giving back.
We want to thank White Bear Lake High School hockey head coach Tim Sager for joining us. Tim, thanks for joining us, and congrats for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Once again, this is your home for White Bear Lake boys hockey here on SEC Sports.
Welcome back. Second intermission here. Mahtomedi leading it 4-0 over North Tartan in a Metro East matchup. That was a little segment called Coach's Corner from our program Sports Path that we do the first and third Wednesday of every month live at 7 p.m. I'm one of the hosts, and my partner is John Miller, another commentator on this network on SEC. He's been my host for a while. So that's first and third Wednesday every month. As I mentioned, Mahtomedi's leading at 4-0. Scored a couple there in that second period. We're going to take a look at the highlights.
Yeah, it was 1-0 after the first, and then it was all Mahtomedi early on here. And was a great goal there by Emmy Nelson, backhand goal, beat Olivia Schultz. Then you had the backhand there by Anna Broughton for her third goal of the season to put Mahtomedi up 3-0. And then you had just a hard-working lunch pailin rebound goal there by the junior Abby Nelson, her second goal of the season. And you know, it's been all Mahtomedi here. Ficadenti hasn't been really challenged a whole lot here in the game, but she has faced 11 shots, and you know, she's risen to the occasion here and hasn't let any through.
Yeah, Ficadenti, if able to keep North Tartan off the score sheet, to be her second straight shutout after getting the one against Hastings on Friday. So a nice run here for Johanna Ficadenti. She's got that Captain C on her sweater. We talked about one of the more experienced Mahtomedi Zephyrs on this team, and doing an excellent job tonight as she normally does. There's a look at Olivia Schultz, netminder for North Tartan. She's done a pretty nice job herself. It's been more an issue with the girls in front of her.
Yeah, I think Olivia Schultz has done a fantastic job. And if you look at the highlights, you know, most of the goals have been situations where there's not a defender to be found. I mean, you know, 2-on-1 situations, you know, in rebounds. You know, I mean, you know, like I said, when your goaltender makes that initial save, you know, and doesn't glove it or freeze the puck, I mean, you gotta you know, do what you can to help her out and get that puck out of the zone.
Mahtomedi ready to go. North Tartan chatting it up. Take a look at some upcoming broadcasts real quick. And as you can see, got quite a few of them coming up courtesy of CTV. Now, a couple of those on the bottom of the graphic are a little bit from now in January and February, but got a nice basketball matchup, Roseville, North St. Paul. And as I mentioned during the intermission, got Sports Path next Wednesday on the 20th, live at 7 p.m. right here on SEC. And we are off and running here, period number 3. Mahtomedi leading at 4-0. North Tartan has the puck. A little back and forth. Colshaw Klein, her defensive mate. McAlpine pouncing on a loose puck. That's knocked down. Good sacrifice from Zoe Colshaw Klein. She's a little slow to get up. And North Tartan trying to clear the zone. Kept in. Still in. Nelson. That one's knocked away by Olivia Schultz, as Nelson wasn't able to get a whole lot on that. Colshaw Klein now carrying it out for North Tartan. She'll come up the right side, skate past the defender, then dump it away and change.
You know, I think the key for North Tartan here in the third period is, you know, I think it's going to be tough coming back from 4-0. You know, in a game that you know, Mahtomedi is controlled, but you know, learn from your mistakes in the first and second period and build for the future. You know, protect your goalie a little more, and you know, try to create some you know, new ways to get some scoring opportunities, and you know, go away with, you know, some positives from a game that has been mostly negative for you. But you know, like I said, it's always a learning curve early on in the season.
Yeah, you know, you might lose the first 2 periods, maybe even the game, but you know, if you don't play too well in the first 2 periods, you always want to maybe win that third period. It's probably the message from Coach First during the intermission. Go behind Olivia Schultz. North Tartan gets it, sent ahead, and it'll be a race. Mahtomedi will be first to it, no icing. As Emma Dornseef drops it back, that's Emma Donovan. She tried to get it ahead to Molly Farrell, but it's poked away by North Tartan. Now battle center ice. Loose puck rolls perfectly to Farrell. Sends her a little bit wide, I should say. That one's sent in towards net, but nobody there. Sent in from distance again. Franco battling it. Sticks in there for North Tartan. Another poke away. A looping puck sent in. Colshaw Klein battles the 8th grader, number 6, Allie Franco. And Brittany Weber, number 21, will get it from North Tartan. She'll send it away. And everybody will reset. Pass towards the center of the ice, intercepted by Franco. She'll dump it in. And now Mahtomedi will make a change. So under 14 minutes left to go here in the third and final period. Mahtomedi led 1-0 after one, got 3 goals in the second, and lead it here 4-0.
Yeah, nice job there by Haley Sutton to get that puck out of the zone. I mean, Schultz made the save, and it was like, you know, get it out of there right away. And, you know, that's something they need to work on here in the third period for, you know, to be better in the future here.
Yeah, one thing that they seem to be struggling with as Schultz covers the puck, you know, they'll clear the zone, get it kind of towards center ice, and then give it right back. And we've had a tough time kind of really turning it into a rush down to the other end and making something happen off of defense.
And that just comes down to, you know, just like I said, experience and something they'll, you know, learn throughout the season here.
This is a good opportunity for Lauren Henriksen, the #1 scorer on this North Tartan team. She shoots it high and wide. And Mahtomedi will go the other way, and they got numbers now. A good job on the far side board as Thieshaver ties up the Mahtomedi skater.
Yeah, they almost got caught in a situation where they had a 2-on-1, one of their best scoring chances, and then all of a sudden, you know, gave it right back in a breakaway. You know, it's like, you know, when you have the opportunity, scoring chances like that, you still got to get back and play defense, you know, and they almost got caught with their hand in the cookie jar there.
Yeah, we saw that actually on one of those goals in that second period. Almost a goal for North Tartan on one end basically turned into that rush the other way, and Mahtomedi scored. McAlpine battling behind her own net. Gives it out to Dornseef. Dornseef clears the zone, but they'll get it back. There's McAlpine. She goes cross ice, just out of the reach of Molly Farrell, and that'll be an icing. Well, North Tartan will have a nice face-off down on the Mahtomedi end.
Yeah, so far North Tartan, 5 minutes into the third period has yet to register a shot on goal. Right now, Mahtomedi's got them outshot 20-11, and that's you know, been the story of the game. You know, they've created more opportunities scoring for themselves, and they've controlled the zone, and that's that'll make the difference every time.
Puck pushed ahead, and another icing. And a face-off again down Mahtomedi zone. This time will be to the right of Joanna Ficcadeni.
Yeah, 2 of the players that we highlighted though early on was Allie Franco, and the 8th grader has not disappointed. She's got a goal and assist this evening, and Lauren Henriksen, you know, she's yet to register anything on the score sheet, but 2 of the better scoring opportunities for North Tartan have been breakaways by the sophomore forward. So, like I said, both ladies have not disappointed in their abilities this evening.
Here's Molly Farrell. Thought about the centering pass, sends it into Schultz. Dangerous rebound, but Schultz is there to cover. Yeah, one of the interesting things about Henriksen for North Tartan, she's got 6 goals, no assists. And I think, as we've seen, she can kind of get herself into good spots to get good. You know, she's got a couple breakaways here, but I feel like she's got a knack for finding those spots on the ice where you get good opportunities and good looks at goal.
Yeah, and that's something, you know, I noticed, you know, doing that opening game against Red Wing. You know, that was always Mahtomedi's problem the last few years was kind of cohesive scoring opportunities. You know, a breakaway here and a breakaway there, but no real team scoring opportunities. And then, you know, the 8th grader comes in, Allie Franco, and, you know, makes 2 great passes out to Kylie Krawcheck. And then, you know, now they've got, you know, an offense.
It was a good opportunity as Franco nearly put in that rebound. Maybe a little bit of frustration there. She knocks one of the North Tartan players into the net, and she's going to go to the penalty box actually for an interference call. North Tartan will have their 3rd power play of the night. So a little bit of the inexperience showing there from Allie Franco. She'll be in the penalty box for 2 minutes. That'll be a good chance to take a look at this North Tartan offense, see if they can get one on the scoreboard.
You know, once again, you know, just you know, like we said earlier about the little victories throughout the game and learning experience. I think, you know, more or less, you know, them creating some opportunities for themselves here on this power play is more important. Keeping the puck in the zone and, you know, kind of learning that cohesive hockey.
Rachel Novak touches it ahead. Now back to the point. Shot deflected, and Mahtomedi nearly had a great opportunity to go the other way. Kept in. That's Ettlinger. Near side board, Ettlinger battling. Mahtomedi nearly ended up with it. Now they do. They'll send it down, and that'll chew up some time here on the power play. Just over a minute to go on the advantage for North Tartan. Trailing 4-0 with 10 minutes to go here in the hockey game. Ettlinger tosses it off the boards. Dornsief skates around with it for a little bit. And Dorsey will saucer it the length of the ice. Schultz is going to come out and play it. Kolshaw-Klein now has 30 seconds left to go in the power play. Good start to the power play for North Tartan, but spending a lot of time in their zone here in the second minute. Mahtomedi was able to score a shorthanded goal in the second period, one of their 3. Kolshaw-Klein winds up, just left. Didn't trouble Ficadeni a whole lot as she saw it the whole way. Thieshaver brings it in, drops it back now. Played off the boards. And here is Allie Franco, fresh out of the penalty box. Takes a shot, no call. Mahtomedi still onside.
Yeah, North Tartan looked pretty confident going in earlier in that power play, you know, kind of, you know, attacking the zone and creating some opportunities, but once again they were unable to even get a shot on goal, and here they are, you know, what, 9 minutes into the third period, and they've yet to register a shot on goal here in the third.
And we're gonna have another penalty. I think it's gonna be a trip. Good move by, I believe, Hope Cheetah, number 24. She had some speed going up that far side, got tripped up, and it's number 23, Emmy Nelson, one of the goal scorers, heading to the penalty box. We talked about this Mahtomedi team having some issues with penalties, and already up to number 4 here tonight in a game where they really don't need to be committing penalties.
Yeah, you know, and it's one of those things. I'm kind of looking at the pulse and the vibe of this team. You know, they're up 4-0. They're out shooting the opponent 25-11. They keep making foolish mistakes. You know, and you know, the bench still kind of seems loose, and the, you know, if I was head coach Bill Mauricio, I tell you what, for some reason, even 4-0, I'd be fuming. I'd be disappointed on the lack of discipline that my girls are showing, and you know, and I know exactly what we'll be working on going into practice tomorrow.
Imagine if this is a closer game. I mean, some of these penalties could be the difference of a win or a loss. I mean, I think Mahtomedi is maybe, you know, not playing their best hockey right now with that 4-goal lead. Sometimes you lose a little bit of that attention as young athletes. But I agree with you, you know, a little bit of complacency here with the lead, and yeah, just making some of those mental mistakes. I mean, we did see Franco, an 8th grader, head to the penalty box, so maybe just a younger player making an error there. But some of these experienced players also, you know, with a lead like this, I mean, any kind of penalty is just unnecessary. Good opportunity for North Tartan on the power play. That one's saved by Ficadeni, is one of her toughest challenges here tonight. Kylie Thompson, junior forward, got right in on net, but didn't have an angle.
Yeah, like you were touching on there about the, you know, the mistakes and different things like that. I mean, And that would be what would upset me as a coach, is the fact that, like, you know, it's 4-0 and you're kind of almost taking the lead for granted. You know, I mean, it's, you know,
and we're gonna have another penalty.
You always want your team to be disciplined, you know, for, you know, 3 periods, and you know, they've lost.
I'm sorry, Corey, for a second there. I thought we were going to have a Mahtomedi penalty. Not sure what I saw there. As I take a look at the replay, as obviously a Mahtomedi player on the ice. Not sure if that one was real intentional. I think maybe just a stick kind of got caught in a skate, but it is a tripping call. So we'll skate a little 4-on-4 for about 20 seconds. There's 19 seconds left to go on the penalty to Emmy Nelson. There's a little replay right there. Back to live action. North Tartan with it now. 4-on-4. Flipped ahead, and Emmy Nelson comes back on. So Mahtomedi will have another look at the power play. They're second. And they're 1 for 1 on the power play tonight. Nelson tries to carry, but tapped away by Brittany Weber. Weber gets tangled up on the far side. Jordan McAlpine now skating around. Sends it into the corner, where it will be collected by Brianna Cashin of North Tartan. Kept in. And danced around with it behind Olivia Schultz's net, but eventually cleared by North Tartan, sent down. But coming back towards center ice, North Tartan able to dump it a little bit, chew up some time. It has 45 seconds left to go in the penalty. 5.5 minutes left to go in the hockey game. 4-0 Mahtomedi leads after a 3-goal second period. Got one in the first, nothing here so far, period number 3. And Ficadeni keeping that clean sheet for the Zephyrs as well. Deflected shot, heads towards the corner. Franco picks it up. Franco tries to center it, hits off the back of the net, still behind Schultz. Franco now, dangerous centering pass. Allie Franco taps it back, still kept in by Mahtomedi. 8 seconds now left to go in the advantage. Turned away by Schultz. That was a tricky one as it bounced right towards the netminder. Good fake out as Tara Skillings had her eyes down ice and just turned right towards the net. Fooled the defense from North Tartan. And penalties now over. We're back to even strength. And Corey, coming into this period, I believe the shots were sitting at 16-11, and now we're looking at a 27-12. But the interesting thing is Mahtomedi hasn't put one into the net in this period that they've gotten so many shots.
Well, like we were talking about with the penalties they keep committing. Let's take a look at this.
As Allie Franco, if you're just joining our broadcast, we've mentioned it a few times. An 8th grader showing off some pretty magnificent stick handling right there. That's a name we're probably going to hear for a few years now.
Well, like I was just going to touch on here with the, you know, you got Mahtomedi. They've got another, you know, another penalty here. And like you were saying, how they've got to put one in. That last power play they had, I mean, they were attacking the last, like, you know, 15 to 20 seconds of that power play. But early on, I mean, they were confusion when they were, you know, switching lines, and they were, you know, kind of all over the place. It was real sloppy. I mean, I tell you what, I mean, I think this Mahtomedi team with the strong senior goaltending and the young, talented skaters, I think they are going to be the worst enemy going down the road here. I mean, they got to stop with these. I mean, they've, what, 5 penalties in the 3rd period here with a 4-0 lead for what? Why are you playing that foolish?
I mean, why are you even, you know, why even getting close to someone to even make it a question of a penalty, you know? Mahtomedi does have that lead. I mean, you know, that's one of the luxuries of getting the lead, is you can get a little sloppier and it's not going to affect you as much.
Yeah, but, you know, down the road when they, you know, take on the Hill Murrays will capitalize on those situations. You know, I mean, that's what Red Wing did early on the season. You know, that's what St. Paul United will if they face them again in the section playoffs.
That's one of the dangerous things, playing down to an opponent. That one's across the face of the net in the crease, and I think was just under Ficadeni's pads. I'm not so sure she knew it was there. Either that or she played it cool and just had it covered for the face-off.
Yeah, sometimes when you've been doing it this long, you know, plays like that, you just make them look easy.
So 2:59 left to go. 109 on the North Tartan power play, as it's Emma Donovan, the junior defense, that is in the penalty box. I believe that's Mahtomedi's 5th, if not 6th penalty so far here tonight. Haven't paid the price for it so far. The North Tartans had some good looks. Shot in. That hit some bodies. They'll work it around again. Bounces to the left. Tie up behind the net, no call. Mahtomedi tries to clear, but excellent by Zoe Kolshaw-Klein to keep it in. You know, Corey, you talk about how North Tartan really doesn't have, a great scoring threat. I mean, we've seen Henriksen. She does a nice job, has done a nice job, I should say, this season, leads the team in goal scoring. Player I really like is Zoe Kolshaw-Klein. I think she could do a lot on offense, but they've got her playing defensively now. I understand why they've won her there as well, but she seems to me she's shown an ability to stick handle, to skate a little bit, and could maybe be used here and there offensively.
Yeah, and she's got big size, you know, and you need something like that back on the defensive end just to help out your goaltending, because obviously that's been one of their downfalls here this evening. When she's not on the ice, getting the puck out of the zone is lacking. But she's a 3-year player, and she's got she's 5 goals from the defensive position this year. She's second behind the sophomore Lauren Hendrickson. So I mean, when the opportunities are there to get some shots from the point and blue line, different things like that, I mean, she can make things happen. When you're in a game just fighting to get the puck out of your zone, it's tough for a defenseman like herself to create, get some offensive opportunities.
I'm surprised to see that she has 5 goals. Rarely gets an opportunity close enough to net to really get a great scoring opportunity. And you mentioned when she's not on the ice, what that defense for North Tartan looks like. And I'd be interested to go back and look at these goals from Mahtomedi here tonight and see how many of them were when Kolshaw-Klein wasn't out there. And I bet you over half of them were probably when she wasn't on the ice.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she's the first pairing on the defensive team. She's the first set for North Tartan, and a lot of the goals have came from that young, talented second and third line that Mahtomedi provides. So I mean, she was more than likely not on the ice for a majority of those goals.
Yeah, we kind of talked about how Ali Franco, wasn't a starter, didn't start on the first line, maybe doesn't play on that first line. Has a good opportunity, another save right on the doorstep. And I don't know how this didn't go in. Ficadeni, they're still battling for it. Refs finally blow a whistle. And Ficadeni really didn't know where it was. An opportunity, got great help from her defense as they got sticks in there and kept it off and out of that net.
Yeah, that's been the first time that North Tartan has really crashed the net and really put some heat on Ficadenti here with 30 seconds left.
And we'll have another whistle as a couple players crash into the boards, and I think we're going to have a late penalty here with 28 seconds left to go. And just trying to be a little over aggressive. Yeah. What an opportunity, and it looked like number 5 maybe there in white. Dornsief coming in and making a huge play. And I think that, we talked about, I was mentioning before that opportunity that, Franco, the leading scorer on this team, wasn't on the top line, but the nice thing is they can hide that youth in that third line. I mean, you see that whole line that was out there is all younger underclassmen. And that just, adding that depth to this team is so crucial. when you can have 3 solid lines.
Yeah, and it could be one of those situations where your youth is a little more, maybe they're more talented skaters, and you kind of put them on the second line together, build some cohesiveness between them, and have those talented skaters going against other teams' second line, and then just kind of put your veteran skaters on that first line. They might not have the scoring ability, but they don't make as many mistakes either.
Yeah, you can kind of play those matchups, you know what I mean? If you like your third line going against their third line, you kind of like how those matchups work. You can really do a lot. So under 10 seconds, it's going to be 5-on-3 as North Tartan got a couple late penalties, a little frustration mounting, and the buzzer will sound. So no score in that final period. And this one will end up 4-0 to Mahtomedi as they'll pick up another conference win. Well, for Sam Erickson and Corey Franzmeyer, everybody here at SEC Sports, want to say thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Mahtomedi wins it 4-0.